Darwin Nunez to Liverpool Football Club is reported as done. One of the biggest transfers in Premier League, the second biggest transfer in Portuguese football history. Reported here via the LFC transfer room that Darwin Nunez will become a Liverpool player. 80 plus 20 and add-ons have been discussed, put down, and decided on. That's the reports out of Portugal. There are slightly different ones coming out of the UK here. David Maddox says Liverpool's proposal structured deal doesn't meet the valuation upright, but are prepared to lay 65 million down straight away. They're claiming no formal offer yet, but Darwin Nunez, after positive dialogue, wants to join Liverpool. Personal terms being no problem. But the one true consistency in the Darwin Nunez deal is that he now wants Liverpool. Some reports that he's now told his agent, please stop discussions with other clubs while I focus on Liverpool's offer. Maybe it's as far down the line as the Portuguese press have suggested. They've been ahead of the curve on all of this, by the way. Man United involved in this race. Liverpool coming in to hijack the deal ever before the UK press got involved. So maybe they know a little bit more, or they're willing to release things a little bit earlier. But Darwin Nunez, he looks like he's going to be that Liverpool player after their 80-odd million euro bid was submitted yesterday. Hit that like and that share button. First big deal of the summer. Could it be this? Is it already done? Let us know your thoughts and feelings right now. Let's go! Darwin Nunez has agreed personal terms on a 5-year contract with Liverpool, and Liverpool and Benfica are closing in on an agreement of an 80 million euro fee plus 20 million in add-ons. The story is so consistent. The story is so free-flowing now from so many journalists. They're all looking at it from a different angle, a different take. That's because people interpret transfers differently. Personal terms agreed or personal terms have been no problem. What's the difference? There really isn't one. There's no issues there at all. Deals being close, deals being close. Some people interpret that as all the agreements nearly being there. Others look at it as though that's what happened, but that's like just before the medical is completed. Either which way, Liverpool are winning this race. Liverpool, and the news all started to come out yesterday, you know, Liverpool being close to reaching that agreement, as it were. Official proposals, Fabrizio Romano confirming yesterday, sort of motoring forward and being done. Of course, Paul Joyce reporting on the deal yesterday, and we now move into today's news. The progression of this has been very quick. Or has it? That's the one thing I will throw in here. People are acting like, oh, where have Liverpool come from? I think we did a video 10, 11 days ago talking about Liverpool's interest. It's been there a while. Just do your research. Liverpool didn't suddenly wake up yesterday morning and go, I fancy a bit of Darwin Nunez. They've been looking at him. They've been caught in him for a while now. The reason that Man United weren't able to get this deal done, and it's their own fault, by the way, is because Darwin Nunez and his camp always knew Liverpool were circling. They always knew Liverpool were interested. They always knew Liverpool could come in with an official bid and turn his head. Man United was a place that Darwin Nunez was happy to join. Now, he's no mercenary. Well, how can you be happy to join United and Liverpool at the same time? Football players are professionals and they will make the best choice for themselves. It was almost a 100% cast iron guarantee he was coming to the Premier League this year. And the order of clubs in which he fancied were Liverpool, Man United, Newcastle. If Liverpool never made the official bid, if they never came in, maybe if they'd have sat on the fence for 2 or 3 more weeks, then Man United would have got this deal done. United were trying to close it out. They've not been able to do it. The player would prefer Liverpool over Man United. That is how I believe it to be. The journalists that I speak to that I trust, I've stated all along, United are close in this deal. United are working hard in this deal. The player would join Manchester United. In fact, it's extremely close to being agreed. But there was always this feeling of other clubs waiting in the wings and the player holding back. And everything they said within reason, has come to absolute fruition. Liverpool, the reason this has progressed so quickly in the last couple of days is because the player's making his mind up. Now, the question remains as to whether or not Man United are going to completely pull away. We've already seen some of the local-based United press sort of do this whole United don't want to get involved in a bidding war. They're kind of pulling away and focusing on other priorities, blah, blah, blah. Stereotypical PR release from Manchester United. The same as yesterday until Liverpool knew 100% the player wanted them more. They also did the bidding war thing, and we're not going to get. This is not going to become a long, drawn-out conversation. Liverpool put their bid in. The player said yes. If the player would have said, "I'm umming and ahhing, I'm going to go back and see what Man United have got to say," they see what Man United's proposal looks like again. Maybe they'll change it. Liverpool may have walked away. Liverpool really have gone in and played chicken here with Darwin Nunez along the lines of, listen, this is our proposal. You either want us or you don't. Now, that power that Liverpool had comes from having a great squad, a world-class manager, and being consistently dominant, winning Premier Leagues, winning Champions League, making finals of competitions, challenging for quadruples. That is so attractive to football players. Struggling to make top four, changing your philosophy every 18 months, the fan base at absolute war with one another, player FC existing, player power, holes in your roof, a 20-year out-of-date training facility. Those are things for people to start considering. Do I really want to join or not? So Man United have only got themselves to blame here. You can't, it's very hard to compete with Liverpool now if they want one of your players. Very hard to compete with City. Hard to compete with Real Madrid. Hard to compete with Paris Saint-Germain. Hard to compete with your Bayern Munichs of this world. With the Chelseas of this world. Because they're just ahead of United. And this is something Man United fans have got to get their head around. But over to Liverpool on this deal. Now, if this goes through, massive deal, huge investment, 65 odd million pounds up front. When all is told and all the money is eventually paid, as it stands, it will be the fourth most expensive signing in British transfer history. Now, Liverpool got the money. Liverpool spending money is not an issue at all. Liverpool are doing the right thing, by the way. And I'm going to praise Liverpool here. If you've got 7 minutes and 30 seconds into this video, you're going to get praise. You've got to wait for it. Liverpool needed to do this. Liverpool needed a goal machine. Liverpool needed to buy somebody in response to Erling Haaland going to Man City. Now, I said a few weeks back, break the bank for Harry Kane. Try and get Lewandowski. Liverpool are looking at a different option here. It's funny, really, because I said as well they should break the bank and pay big money for someone. And most Liverpool fans, no, we'll buy cheaper and develop. I don't think you can afford to do that. And I think Jurgen Klopp agrees with me. You can't afford to do that. What you need to do is spend big, pay big, and get the players in now, sooner rather than later, if that makes sense. Because you need someone that's... Darwin Nunez is still going to develop and get better, but he is a goal machine. He scored in the Champions League, been scoring in Portugal, and Liverpool need that. The risk is, does he score for Liverpool in the Prem at the same rate? Yeah, I mean, you can... People are labeling that against Haaland, by the way. You've got, Julian wouldn't be the first player from South America to have a great goal-scoring record come to England and not quite be as good. So those risks apply to Man City as well. But Liverpool are responding to Man City. They need a goal machine. They need someone that's going to put the ball in the back of the net. And they're also going to change their style of play subtly. They're going for a traditional number 9. And again, if I remove my Man United hat and look at this as a football fan, very clever from Jurgen Klopp. The greatest manager of all time, Sir Alex Ferguson, would over the course of time would change his formations or the style of player that he had and adapt his style ever so slightly. You know, when Man United, one of the prime examples was when Ronaldo went from being a right winger to the right inside forward role, which Ronaldo almost single-handedly invented. The way in which he did it, that coming in late at the back post. Wingers weren't doing it before he did. And it took Man United for a while away from using a traditional number 9 because we utilized goals from the wide positions. In fact, our central strikers became more our creators than our goal scorers in Ronaldo's pomp. Ronaldo left. We didn't really work for a while. We were still winning titles. And then Chicharito came in. Number 9. We then needed to upgrade that, and we went for a Robin van Persie. So over a period of 4 or 5 years, Man United changed the focal point of their attack, their style slightly to keep winning. And that's what Liverpool are doing here. City are doing exactly the same thing. Managers, styles, systems adapt. They're never a wholesale change. You're never going to go from Klopp football to Diego Simeone football in the summer, but subtle changes to how you play. It also keeps your opponents guessing. Now, there are question marks over Darwin Nunez, without a shadow of a doubt. There are big question marks. He's touch and he's passing, rare, tear. I wouldn't be overly concerned about that as a Liverpool fan. You get most of your signings right, most of your big signings right, and Darwin Nunez is very heavily well coveted and very heavily ranked as being one of the next top strikers in world football. There are reservations, of course, there is, but Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool support it enough to make it the biggest signing. Once the add-ons are paid, it will be one of the biggest signings in your club's history, the Premier League's history, European football history, one of the biggest. I think Jurgen Klopp and your board have earned the right to at least be given the benefit of the doubt in this situation. But as reported from many sources, it's from done to personal terms agreed to almost happening. It sounds like it's going to get over the line very, very quickly. Before I even release this video, it might be announced because I am pre-recording this. I've got to shoot up to London today. But listen, everyone who's tuned in, thank you. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon. Thank you.